Thank you, Dr. Barua. That's great. Friends, good evening. I feel humbled and honored to be in front of a variety of professors, academicians. I wasn't a great student. I didn't study anything carefully. And for me to stand here and talk about nation building is a tall order. I would like to sort of assume that I'm talking to a family and friends, and I would take this opportunity to share some of my random thoughts on what nation building is all about and how can we do a better job going forward. First of all, my congratulations to IIM on your 50th Golden Jubilee year. In fact, the topic we have selected is just perfect for IIM. I think IIM should focus on nation building as a major exercise for the next decade. I recommend for your consideration series of lectures, seminars, workshops by a variety of people from all over the world on nation building, and let's keep the focus and let's educate everybody as to the difficult task we have ahead of us. Hopefully out of this we can create a mini movement on the thought process that we need, on the thinking, soul searching that all of us have to go through to really build a nation we could be proud of. Nation building in the 21st century is indeed going to be very challenging. In general, nation building is a very complex process. It is not like building a company. Many people tend to confuse it and think that if we can build a company, we can build a nation. It is not about profit and loss, balance sheet, shareholders, cost, price. Nation building is at times very different from everything that we are taught in colleges and universities. If you look at the history, nation building process started from tribes. Tribes all got together and built that little empire, had the tools to fight, control their territory, and sort of started expanding. The idea earlier of nation building was to go fight. It was all about war. And this went on for centuries and centuries. In 20th century, our thinking changed. And it changed only because of the intervention of atom bomb. Technology had to come to rescue, in a sense, to change our mindset about nation building. You look at how US built the nation, killed a lot of local Indians. It was a wild, wild west. Everything you could think of to do wrong, everybody did it. You go to a bar, you didn't like a guy, you shoot him, and you start drinking beer there. All of the barons were basically robbers. And now, US is one of the most important nations in the world. Then people look to kings and queens to build a nation. People went to war, colonized other parts of the world like our own country, and took all of the minerals and raw material and basically robbed these great countries and gave us finished goods. Handful of people controlled large populations, and that was their idea of nation building. 21st century is very different. In 21st century, human rights, environmental concern, democracy, people's participation, all put in a different angle to nation building. Unfortunately, everyone is looking to US as the only model for nation building. I believe US model based on consumption is not scalable, workable, desirable. It was okay when 300 million people sucked all of the world resources. Now, there are 3 billion more who want the same standard of living. Billion from China, billion from India, and billion from former Soviet Union. Coupled with what information and communication technology has done in terms of opening up the system, everyone knows what is available in terms of lifestyle, luxury in the Western world, US, Europe, and they all have the same ambitions. This model is not scalable. Unfortunately, everybody is looking to US even today as the model to replicate. You go to China, everyone wants same standard of living. 4-bedroom homes, bigger cars, that's the sign of progress. Tall buildings, you go to Shanghai. I was in Shanghai in '79 for the first time. It wasn't any different from Mumbai then. You go to Shanghai today, it is Manhattan 10 times over. That is the idea of nation building and progress. It was okay for US because right after World War, US decided that they will build institutions and infrastructure to make US dollar the dominant currency. So they set up United Nations, World Bank, IMF, WIPO, NATO, all of these organizations were systematically set up for US dominance. US then had Soviet Union as part of the bipolar world. When Soviet Union collapsed in 90s, everyone thought that there will be only one power in the world, superpower United States. So EU, European Union, and all the European countries felt very comfortable that now the EU unification will go through. We will be the strongest allies of the US, and the world will be controlled by US and Europe. The reality turned out to be exactly opposite. 9/11 showed us that US is no longer in control. World is no longer unipolar. World is multipolar. And all of a sudden rise of China and India has completely changed the equation. I was in Paris 6 months ago, met with all kinds of leaders, gave a couple of talks, had several television interviews. And the key concern was that we are depressed in Europe. We don't know what's going to happen to Europe. Our currency is no longer strong. We see crisis after crisis. All our products are not competitive. All our companies can't deal with China and India. We don't have jobs. And we just don't know what to do next. So the earlier idea of nation building with dominance, control, command don't make sense anymore. And these people don't know how to deal with the new paradigm. What is new paradigm? New paradigm is based on information and communication technology. And I'm not a philosopher, I'm not a social scientist, I'm not a theoretician, so I just say it based on my own experiences. You can probably say exactly opposite to what I'm going to say, and I would say you are right. To me, information and communication technology brings about openness, accessibility, connectivity, networking, democratization, decentralization. And as a result,